You sit in the heart of silence. Chronos Station calls this room the last archive. You just call it your office. A sphere of soft light surrounds your console. Beyond it, darkness holds countless data crystals. Each one is a tombstone. Each one holds the last moments of a dead world. Your job is simple. You are an archivist of the end. You watch civilizations burn out. You catalog the ash. You are the final witness to every goodbye in the galaxy. And as you work, a gentle smile rests on your face. It never leaves. Some find your smile unsettling. Newcomers whisper. They think you are broken, or perhaps cruel. They do not understand your purpose. Sadness is a luxury. It is an emotion for those with time to spare. You have none. You have only the duty of remembrance. Your fingers dance across the holographic interface. A new file blooms into view. It is Xylos, a world of gentle, silicon-based life forms. They looked like walking stained glass. Their songs could rearrange sand into beautiful patterns. A rogue asteroid ended their symphony. You watch the final recording. You see the sky crack open. You see the light in the dust. You feel the tremor through the historical sensors. It is a story you have seen 1,000 times. The props change. The ending is always the same. You type the final entry. Cause of extinction. Kinetic impact event. Status. Total life form eradication. You file it away. The data crystal for Xylos dims. It joins the silent chorus in the dark. You take a sip of your cool drink. The smile on your face widens just a little. The work is precise. It is clean. Every end must be cataloged. It is the only way to honor the memory. Grief would cloud your judgment. Tears would blur the data. Your smile is a tool. It is the shield that lets you look into the abyss. And the abyss, so far, has never looked back. You pull up another file. The gas giants of the Cygnus arm. They were not alive in the way you are. They were vast, thinking oceans of hydrogen. They communicated in storms and magnetic fields. Their end came slowly. A neighboring star went nova. It peeled their minds away layer by layer. It took 300 years. You have the entire recording. You could watch it, but you do not need to. The final entry is all that matters. You record their passing with the same calm efficiency. You are a librarian for ghosts, and the library must be kept in order. It is not a sad job. It's just a very, very big one. Kai, your mentor, once asked you about the smile. He is the only one who ever dared. He is ancient, his face a map of lost stars. Why that expression? He asked. His voice was like shifting gravel. Does their passing amuse you? You had looked up from your console. The light painted your face in soft blues. Amusement is not the right word, Elder Kai, you had replied. It is satisfaction. He did not understand. You tried to explain. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You are privileged to see the final page. You ensure the book is closed properly, not torn, not left unfinished. It is a sacred finality, a neat and tidy universe, one dead world at a time. Your smile is the seal of a job well done. He simply shook his head and walked away. He still watches you sometimes. He stands in the shadows of the archive entrance. You feel his gaze. It is heavy with worry. You always give him a polite nod. And then you turn back to your work, back to the quiet, dignified ends of everything. Your routine is a comfortable rhythm. A planet dies. The data flows in. You catalog, you file, you smile. It is the metronome of the universe. But today, a beat is skipped. A strange note rings out in the symphony of endings. An alert flashes on your console. It is not the crimson of a scheduled extinction. It is a stark, jarring magenta. a color you have never seen before. The alert tag reads, "Unscheduled terminus event." That phrase alone is a contradiction. All terminus events are scheduled. The star science is precise. The concordance predicts the lifespan of stars. It models the orbits of rogue worlds. It calculates the odds of stellar flare events. They can tell you the exact moment a world will die, give or take a decade. Surprises are not part of the cosmic plan. You open the file. The designation is K734 Delta. You know it by its informal name, Dust 5, a dry, wind-swept rock in a forgotten sector. It was supposed to have another 8 centuries. Its red dwarf star was stable. Its orbit was clear of debris. Nothing in its future suggested a sudden end. Yet the data is undeniable. The planet is dark. All biosigns are gone. All atmospheric and geological activity has ceased. It is not just dead, it is inert, as if it were a switch that had been flipped off. This is wrong. Planets do not just turn off. You run the diagnostic again. The system confirms the initial reading. Dust 5 went silent 3.14 hours ago. Your brow furrows, just for a moment. The smile on your face holds firm, but it feels a little tighter now. This is not a neat ending. This is a mess. You access the deep-range sensor logs. You need to see the final moments. You scrub back through the timeline. You watch the planet spinning peacefully. Its 2 small moons trace their familiar paths. Everything is normal, boringly, wonderfully normal, until it is not. One moment, the planet is there. The next, a flicker, a distortion in the data stream. It is like a single frame of a recording has been corrupted. The sensor drone itself reports a momentary power surge, and then nothing. The planet is simply gone. No, not gone. Silent. Still, there was no explosion, no impact, no blinding flash of a stellar flare. The world just stopped. You pull up the star's output data. The red dwarf is unchanged. It continues its gentle, steady burn. It seems entirely unaware that its child has died. This is impossibly strange. Worlds die in fire and fury. They scream into the void. This was different. This was a whisper. A quiet exit in the middle of the play. Someone just walked off stage and forgot to tell the audience. You cross-reference every known extinction pattern. Supernova residue, gamma-ray bursts, nanite plague dissolution, gray goo scenarios, and none of them match. This event has no precedent. It does not fit into any of your perfectly organized boxes. It is an anomaly. For the first time in years, you feel a flicker of something else. It is not sadness. It is not fear. It is curiosity. A dangerous, thrilling curiosity. Your work is about endings. But this feels like a puzzle. A mystery written in the ashes of a billion lives. The smile on your face feels real now. Not practiced, not a tool. It is the genuine smile of a scholar who has found a new, terrifying book. And you know, with absolute certainty, that you must be the one to read it, even if it is the last thing you ever do. You dive deeper into the data void of Dust 5. You are looking for a cause, an explanation, something to write in your final report. But the silence is deafening. The planet offers no clues. It simply is. Or rather, it isn't. You filter the sensor readings. You push past the static of a dead world. You are searching for echoes, faint trails of energy, anything that might point to the weapon or event that silenced it. The machines hum around you. The archive is cold. Your fingers freeze above the console. There it is. A thread. So faint it is almost nothing. A patterned signal. It pulses from the planet's core. It is impossibly weak. A ghost of a whisper in a hurricane of silence. It should not be there. When a world dies, its core cools, its magnetic field collapses. All transmissions cease. A signal from a dead core is a violation of physics. It is like hearing a heartbeat from a mummy. Someone has to be joking. You isolate the signal. You amplify it 100 times, 1,000 times. The sound finally comes through your audio sensors. It is not a random burst of energy. It is structured. It is language. A slow, repeating message. The sound is strange. A series of soft clicks, deep, resonant hums. It makes the air in the archive feel thick. You run it through the universal translator. The system cycles through trillions of known languages. Active languages, dormant languages, dead languages. No match, no match, no match. The denials scroll across your screen. The Concordance linguistic database is the most complete in history. It contains the grunts of primeval swamp dwellers. It holds the complex star songs of crystalline beings. If a language was ever spoken, it is in here. But this one is not. The signal is alien, not just from another world, but from another time. It feels ancient, older than the archive, older than Chronos Station, maybe older than the Concordance itself. You let the sound wash over you. The clicks are like stones falling into a deep well. The hums vibrate in your bones. It speaks of loss, of a great darkness. It is a warning. You do not need a translator to feel the weight of its words. It is the sound of absolute terror. Your smile is gone. You do not even notice its absence. Your face is a mask of pure concentration. This dead world is talking. And it is telling a story you have never heard before. A story that was not supposed to be told. You run a different search. You bypass the official linguistic archives. You access the forbidden texts. The files Kai keeps under 7 layers of encryption. He calls them myths, fairy tales, the ramblings of species long gone. He told you to never open them. But Kai is not here. You search for phonetic patterns, resonant frequencies, anything that matches the ghost signal. The system churns for a long time. You wait. The only sound is the whispering voice from a dead planet. Then, a single file is flagged. It is a fragment of a text from a civilization called the Progenitors. They were the first, the ones who seeded the stars. They vanished 1,000,000 years ago. Most believe they never existed. But here is a partial translation of their language. And the patterns match. You feed the signal through the progenitor key. The clicks and hums become words. Your translator displays them on the screen. The message repeats. It is only 4 words long. A simple, horrifying phrase. Look away. The shadow comes. The air in the archive turns to ice. A shadow. What shadow? What could silence a planet in an instant? What could scare the first beings in the universe? The puzzle of Dust 5 is no longer a simple anomaly. It is a wound in the fabric of history. You look at the data crystals lining the walls, the silent tombs of 1,000 worlds. You have always seen their ends as natural, inevitable, the closing of a chapter. But what if you were wrong? What if something was out there? Something that tears the pages from the book? You do not call for security. You do not alert the Concordance. You call for one person, the only one who might understand. Your feet are silent on the cold metal floor. You find him in the stargazing dome. Elder Kai is looking out at the endless night. He turns as you approach. His old eyes seem to hold the light of distant galaxies. He does not smile. He rarely does. You are troubled, he says. It is not a question. Your face is naked. I have not seen it so since you were a boy. You had forgotten about your own expression. The smile is still gone. You do not try to bring it back. I need you to see something, Elder, you say. Your voice is steady, but the calm is a thin sheet of ice over a deep, cold ocean. You lead him back to the archive. The whispering signal still plays softly. The 4 translated words glow on your main screen. Look away. The shadow comes. You say nothing. You just point. You watch his face. Kai moves closer to the console. He leans in. He listens to the alien clicks and hums. He reads the words. Color drains from his ancient face. He looks like one of the glass statues you cataloged last year, a being frozen in a moment of pure shock. He stumbles back. He actually stumbles. You have never seen him lose his balance. He catches himself on a rack of data crystals. His hand is trembling. No, he whispers. The word is a ragged breath. It cannot be. Not again. You know this language, you state. You need answers. The time for puzzles is over. You know what this means. Kai slowly straightens up. He seems to have aged another century in a few seconds. He walks to the main console and shuts off the signal. The silence that returns is heavy, oppressive. I will tell you a story, he says. His voice is low. A story the Concordance has tried to erase. He tells you of a time long ago, before the Concordance, before its peace and its order. There was a war unlike any other. It was not fought for territory or for resources. It was a war for survival. Our ancestors did not face ships or armies, Kai says. He stares into the darkness of the archive. They faced a presence, a hunger from the void between galaxies. It had no name. They just called it the Devourer, the Shadow. He describes a force that did not conquer. It consumed. It would arrive in a system, and the system would go silent. Worlds, stars, everything, wiped clean from existence, leaving behind only a strange, lingering energy, a ghost veil. The progenitors were the first to fall. Kai continues. His voice is strained. That message you found, it is not a warning. It is their tombstone, the last thing they ever said. They broadcast it on a frequency that could travel through a dead world, hoped someone would hear. Your mind is racing. The ghost veil, the instant silence. It all fits. We fought it? Our people? We did, Kai says, nodding slowly. A grand alliance was formed, with dozens of other star-faring peoples. Many you have cataloged in this very room. They did not die from supernovas or plagues. They died in the Shadow War. He explains they found a way to stop it. A weapon of unimaginable power. It did not destroy the Devourer. Nothing could. But it pushed it back, wounded it, forced it into a long slumber in the empty void. The cost was immense. Entire species sacrificed themselves. Worlds were shattered to power the weapon. When it was over, Kai says, the survivors made a pact. They formed the Concordance, and they swore to bury the memory of the war. They believed the knowledge itself was a poison. That fear of the shadow was more dangerous than the shadow itself. The pieces click into place. The missing histories, the gaps in the timelines of older species, they were all redacted. A galactic cover-up of the highest order. You were there, you realize. The words leave your mouth before you can stop them. Kai looks at you, and for the first time, you see true, profound age in his eyes. Not just years, but millennia. I was a young pilot, he says softly. I saw worlds go dark. I saw the shadow move between the stars. I am one of the last who remembers. He puts a heavy hand on your shoulder. That is why you must stop, he says. His grip is firm. You will delete this data. You will erase the signal. You will report Dust 5's end as a stellar anomaly. No one can ever know. You look at him, at the fear in his ancient eyes. You understand his warning. You understand his terror. But you are an archivist. Your duty is to the truth, not to a comfortable lie. I cannot do that, you say. His face hardens. This is not a debate, he snaps. This is an order. That thing wiped out worlds in the blink of an eye. If it is waking up, our only hope is that it does not notice us. Chasing this signal is like lighting a flare in the deepest, darkest ocean. You will draw its attention right to us. You pull away from his grip. What is the point of a peace built on a forgotten horror? You ask. If it's back, we need to know. We need to prepare. Hiding will not save us. Now you are a boy who plays with tombstones. Kai's voice booms in the silent archive. You do not understand the nature of this grave. Some things must remain buried. He turns and seals the file with his own elder-level command codes. It is done. Do not pursue this. That is my final warning. He walks away. He does not look back. You are left alone in the silence. The file is locked. The signal is gone. The story is buried once more. But you heard it. You saw the truth. And an archivist never forgets. Kai's warning echoes in your mind. The fear in his voice was real, but it is overshadowed by something else. A cold, clear certainty. The truth of Dust 5 cannot be buried. It must be cataloged. It must be understood. You stand in the quiet of the archive for a long time. The data crystals hum around you, each one a story with a proper ending. Dust 5's story is not finished, and you cannot leave it this way. Your smile returns. It is sharp now, a smile of defiance. Kronos Station is a city of rules and routines. Everyone has their place. Every action is logged. Leaving without authorization is unthinkable. Stealing a starship is treason. The thought should terrify you. It does not. It feels like the only logical next step. You walk out of the archive. Your steps are measured and calm. You are not a warrior. You are not a pilot. You are a librarian. But you have studied the records of 1,000 daring escapes. You have cataloged the schematics of countless ships. You know this station better than the engineers who built it. You head for the lower docks, the forgotten sector, Hangar 73. This is where they keep the old scout ships, the ones used for deep-range artifact recovery. They are small, fast, and quiet. Most pilots consider them relics. You consider them perfect. Your clearance codes are high. As an archivist of the end, you have access to almost everything. You need to see historical records after all. No one ever thought you would use that access to walk into a hangar bay and check out a ship like a book. The hangar is quiet. A few maintenance drones drift lazily through the air. You walk up to the terminal. You select a ship, the Stardust, a courier-class vessel, old but reliable. Its service record is clean. Its last flight was 9 years ago. No one will miss it for a while. You input your authorization. The system asks for a flight plan. You pause. This is the crucial step. You cannot file a plan for Dust 5. That would trigger every alarm on the station. So you invent a destination, a routine survey of a dead star system in the opposite direction. The system approves the request. The lights on the hangar floor flicker to life. A ramp extends from the belly of the Stardust. It is an invitation. You walk up the ramp without a second thought. The air inside smells of ozone and old metal. It smells like history. The cockpit is small. Just a single pilot's chair and a wall of controls. It feels right. You are not leading an armada. You are on a field trip, a research mission to the edge of a forgotten nightmare, the galaxy's grimmest after-school activity. You strap yourself into the chair, your fingers fly over the controls, powering up the reactor, priming the navigation systems. You have never flown a real ship before, but you have run 10,000 simulations, based on the logs of the greatest pilots in history. It feels familiar, like a memory you never lived. The hangar doors grind open. They reveal the star-dusted blackness of space. The station's flight control sends a final message. Flight plan confirmed, Stardust. You are cleared for departure. Safe journey, Archivist. You key the comms. Thank you, Control, you say. Your voice is perfectly level. The journey is the most important part. You push the throttle forward. The ship hums. It lifts off the deck smoothly. You guide it out of the hangar, away from the safety of Kronos Station. You are a thief, a traitor, a boy running toward a story that could end the universe. You look at the navigation screen. The fake destination blinks in green. You watch it for a moment. Then, with a single, deliberate keystroke, you delete it. You input the real coordinates. The system charts a course for the dead world, a course for Dust 5. The ship turns, and you fly toward the shadow. The journey takes 3 days. 3 days in the silent metal shell of the Stardust. You do not sleep. You spend the time studying everything Kai told you. You cross-reference it with the progenitor text fragments. You build a profile of the enemy, an enemy with no name, the Devourer, the Shadow. It does not communicate. It does not negotiate. It consumes. Reports from the Shadow War described its arrival as a subtle wrongness, a distortion in space-time, a feeling of being watched by a blind and hungry god. Your ship is fast, but space is vast. You watch the stars stream by. They look different now. Not just beautiful points of light. They look like candles, fragile flames that could be snuffed out at any moment. Your work in the archive feels like a child's game in comparison. The ship's proximity alert chimes, a soft, polite sound. It informs you that you are approaching the target system, the home of the red dwarf and its dead child, Dust 5. You feel a cold knot tighten in your stomach. This is it, the end of the map. You drop out of faster-than-light travel. The view screen shimmers. It shows a dim, red sun and a single, dark planet in orbit. From here, it looks ordinary, peaceful even, but your sensors tell a different story. The entire system is bathed in a strange energy field. It does not show up on visual scanners, but your other instruments are screaming. It is a chaotic storm of exotic particles, a radiation that should not exist. This must be the ghost veil Kai spoke of, the scar left behind by the Devourer. The Stardust is a civilian vessel. It is not built for this. The ship's computer flashes a warning. Environmental conditions exceed safety parameters. Recommend immediate withdrawal. The computer has a knack for understatement. You ignore the warning. You are not leaving. You need to see the surface. You need to find the source of that signal. You push the ship forward, and slow and steady, you ease it into the outer edges of the veil. The ship shudders. It is a violent, wrenching motion. Red lights flash across your console. The hull groans under the strain. It sounds like the ship itself is in pain. The energy is not just pushing against the shields, it is seeping through them. Shields at 80%, the computer announces. Its voice is calm and serene. It is a stark contrast to the chaos erupting around you. Hull integrity fluctuating. Navigational sensors are offline. You are flying blind. You grip the controls tightly. Your knuckles are white. You are guiding the ship on instinct alone. The view screen is a mess of static, a blizzard of white and gray. But you can feel the planet. A cold, dead weight pulling you in. The shaking intensifies. A console to your right explodes in a shower of sparks. The ship lurches hard to port. You fight the controls. You try to keep the nose pointed toward the planet. Shields at 40%. Warning, imminent hull breach. This is more than an energy field. It feels alive, malicious. It is actively trying to tear your ship apart. It is a phantom immune system, and you are the virus. You close your eyes for a second. You remember the faces in the extinction logs, the Xylos, the gas giants, all the silent voices. You are doing this for them. You open your eyes. Your resolve hardens. You divert all remaining power to the forward shields. You even drain power from life support. The air thins for a moment, but the shields flare with renewed strength. It is a desperate gamble. Shields at 10%, the computer says. 5%. Shields have failed. The ghost veil washes over the ship. The noise is incredible. A high-pitched scream that tears at your ears. The entire ship rattles as if it will disintegrate. But then, as suddenly as it began, it stops. The screaming ceases. The shaking ends. You have broken through. The ship drifts in the silent upper atmosphere of Dust 5. You are inside the veil. You look at your console. The ship is a wreck. Multiple systems are offline. The hull is compromised in a dozen places. But the reactor is stable. And you are alive. You look at the view screen. The static is gone. It shows the surface of the dead world below. And you finally understand the true meaning of terror.